So yeah, so that's like super cool, and that is nearly instantaneous. What is object-oriented programming? A programming paradigm based on the concept of objects. Yeah, like I want to say, what is OOP? You think? I wonder if it could find out what figure out what is an acronym. Alley-oop. This one is correct. I bet because of all these other ones. Let's see what it says. No way! What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a video on me just kind of poking around the Jarvis library project, I guess I would call it, from Nvidia. Now, Jarvis is actually contained within Nvidia's NGC, which I have looked into. I've wanted to do a tutorial on. I just haven't gotten around to it. But if you're not familiar with NGC, it's probably something you should take a peek at. One of the things that I did with NGC was I grabbed, they've got a particularly well-trained text-to-speech, so it's WaveGlow and Tacotron. And so like on NGC, you can download like containers, for example. So the container is just like all of the project files that you would need. And it's just like good to go. You can run it. It's like a Docker. It is a Docker container. And then you can also download like literally just like the model files. And then you can grab the code from GitHub. So rather than using a container, you can just simply incorporate it into whatever you're doing at the moment. So that's kind of what I did actually, is I just downloaded the model files and use them that way. But Jarvis is quite the large project. I think it would be super tedious to do each little tiny part. So what Jarvis is it's like all the things you would need to do conversational AI. So there's just everything along the way, starting from like speech to text. So if you want to speak first to the AI and then hopefully get a response, they've got speech to text. And from what I've seen in demos and stuff like that, it looks really good. And then there is just a ton of natural language processing stuff that you can do, from doing your typical like named entity stuff down to all kinds of stuff that I think we'll be able to peek at when we actually get like the container in. And then at the end of the day, you get back to text to speech. So you really, it's like end-to-end conversational AI. So for someone like me, that's kind of like one of the biggest projects, and apparently the hardest thing ever for me to figure out how to do is to come up with like a general purpose chatbot. So I'm kind of focused on the NLP side of things, and I would be very curious to check out their to use their BERT model to train my chatbot. So my idea of a chatbot is something that is not boring like Google or Apple's Siri and stuff like that. I'm trying to train it off of Reddit chat data, and this is a very hard problem. Apparently, I didn't enter this thinking it would be so difficult. This has been something I've been like trying to do as a side project for many years. So anyway. Long story short, we're going to check out Jarvis, see if Jarvis can solve and end my pain and get me a chatbot, especially one that you could actually talk to, like in Discord, and literally talk. It talks back, and hopefully everything works seamlessly. So anyways, well, the first order of business will be, kind of just go over the terms. So NGC, this is just where they house a whole bunch of stuff, and then Jarvis is the housing of a bunch of NLP kind of conversational AI stuff. So let's get started. So the first thing we need is, actually the very first thing I'm going to do is actually connect to the DGX station back there. So you could do this locally. The Jarvis, as I understand it, is basically it's like a server of its own. So it's going to house all the models, and you can query Jarvis. Now you could do this locally if you want, but I'm actually going to do it against the DGX station. I can't imagine a better place to test it than that. So first, let's see, SSH. Okay, nobody look at my password. Cool. Hopefully we get it. Yes, we did. Okay. So first order of business is going to be get Docker. Now this comes from Nvidia, and I'm going to wager it has Docker. It probably has, let's see, Docker build. So I don't think we need to actually install Docker, but if you didn't have Docker, you would need to install it. Also, somewhere, we'll stumble upon it possibly at some point. I know that not everything on NGC is going to have this requirement, but I know the Jarvis specifically requires a GPU of an architecture that is later than Pascal. So like a GTX 980 or a 1080 Ti will not work with Jarvis specifically. So if you needed that, you could probably rent a GPU in the cloud or something, something like that. If what you see here is appealing to you. So otherwise, if you have something past Pascal, it should be fine. Like Turing, Ampere, Volta, those will be totally fine. Okay, so Docker. Okay, so we have Docker. I'm trying to think, because you want to have the NVIDIA Docker, and I can't recall. I think you'll install NVIDIA Docker on top. So first, let's go ahead. You would just do a sudo apt-get update. And then let's pull up. Maybe it's here, or maybe it's the NVIDIA Docker that has this requirement. Let's see. Let me pull this over here. Oh, I had it up already. So this would just only be required if you hadn't already installed Docker. Oh, the other thing we definitely want to do, likely, is grab these post-install instructions. So let's go ahead and do that real quick as well. Let me pull this over. Okay, so we already have Docker set up. I'm going to guess that this is tough. So it probably already has, let's just go ahead and do this. So it wants me to log out. Let's see if we can get away with, really? Why can't I exit? I thought I would get away with this. Let's try, let's see if we get away with this. Verify that you can run Docker without sudo. So I'm going to now essentially run this command here. So just docker run hello world. This shows that your installation appears to be working. Okay, so once we have installed regular Docker, then we're going to set up the specifically NVIDIA Container Toolkit, which is apparently all of this. Thank you for the easy copy. Okay, once we've got that, come down and, note to get access to, or the new MIG capability. I want to add, I'm tempted because the Ampere cards do have MIG. I might circle back to that one. That's curious. I definitely want to play with MIG, but depending on how much time I have with the machine, I may or may not be able to get to it. But maybe I'll circle back. I don't remember seeing that before. So we'll skip that. And now I already ran that update. So let's go ahead and grab NVIDIA Docker. Huh. Is already the, so it's already, it was already here. That makes sense. It came from NVIDIA. Default Discord. Discord, why'd you do that? I did put Discord on there. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hope that that doesn't cause problems. I don't think it will. Okay, restart Docker. Okay, this is the command to check to see if we can run NVIDIA SMI. And I guess the next question would be, can we run that without sudo? Beautiful, beautiful. Just a wonderful looking, what was that, 81.2 gigs of memory? Oh my goodness. Okay, so so could we run that without sudo now? We sure can. Okay, good. Okay, so we've got NVIDIA Docker done. Okay, so I think now let me check my notes. And I think the next thing that we would want is Nvidia CLI, so that we can just quickly grab stuff via this command line thing here. So like in this case, we want the Jarvis quick start. We want to be able to grab it but I don't, well, I guess we should check and see if NGC's here since they got the Docker already. No, so we don't have NGC set up yet. So to set up NGC, we're going to go to this command line install. I am on Linux, not an ARM processor. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab these. Go grab this. Oh, that's just a check. Anyway, continuing on, just running commands blindly. How safe can it be? Config set. Okay, grab your API key. Hopefully this does not display the key. I guess I'll blur it out if it does. To get your key, you're going to need an NGC account, and then you go into your account. You basically ngc.nvidia.com/setup, I think it is. And anyway, it's where you would expect a key to be. That was not a hard thing to find. Okay, please don't show it. Oh my God, you showed it. I really hoped that it wouldn't show that. Okay, great. Phenomenal. It ticks up too, doesn't it? That's great. Okay, let me see if I can get rid of that key before I continue on. See how much editing. I hate having to move a blur. Ah, yes. Wonderful. Okay, so the website suggests that I will generate a new API key and the old one becomes invalid. So I guess I'll leave that key there for now and continue on. Okay, hopefully I'll remember to change it. Probably won't. So ASCII's fine with me. Cool. Okay, so that part is done. On to the next step. Let's see, we did our key. Did we already export path? Yeah. Yep. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and try to copy and paste that the CLI command. Where was Jarvis quick start? There it is. So at some point, again, to view this, I will put this link in the description, but to view it, you have to like make your account and sign in. The key, everything is like free, so you don't have to pay for anything, but you just need an account. So this command here won't show if you're logged out, so you have to log in. Also, just take note, I am using 1.0 beta 0.2. This might change over time. Hopefully not much will change. Hopefully, please don't do me dirty, Nvidia. I swear every time I do tutorials on beta stuff, it changes massively. Let's see what happens. Okay. So, really? It's done that quick? Okay. Is it really only 256 kilobytes? All right, that's okay. Let's go check it out. Oh, you know what? It's going to download the model. That's what I'm like thinking. I was like, man, those models are not that big. No, it'll definitely, it'll download them in a moment. So, okay, so then once you're in here, you get your essentially Jarvis commands, and these are what are going to like start, stop, and stuff to the server. So, I am going to, first we need to allow these to be executable. I'm not sure what Jarvis clean does, but we definitely want to be able to at least start, stop, and initiate. So let's go ahead and chmod +x Jarvis clean. Well, we'll throw that in there too. Jarvis init, Jarvis start. Oh, I guess we'll grab start client as well. Jarvis start client. And what else are we missing? Init, start client, clean, and I guess we'll throw in the old stopperoo as well. Jarvis stop.sh. Cool. Okay, so now we will start with init, and I bet this is what is going to download all of our models. Jarvis init. Hey, bud. You want to keep it down? I'm filming a tutorial. So this will probably take some time, as the message states, so I will be back when it is done. Okay, looks like we are good to go. The whole process took, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, something like that. I ended up walking away, brewing some coffee. And I think, so that was, I think, Jarvis in it. Yeah. So what we're going to run now is Jarvis start.sh. And I think this will just basically start up all of our models that we just downloaded. Like that's kind of what was taking so long, was grabbing all those models. So my understanding is once this starts up, again, at this point, we have done some shell access into, yes, the DGX station, but Jarvis itself is going to basically, it runs via a Docker container. So we are going to, once this is done, I want to say we can start, we'll do the start client, and that will open up a container, and then let me check something real quick, actually. So I think, so now the server is ready. I'm not actually sure if we should just run this or run... I'm not sure we want to start the client. I think we should just probably run that. And now I don't know. Jupyter. So we'll first do Jarvis start client. ls. Yeah, so we have Jupyter here. CD into notebooks possibly. QA demo, speech API demo. Let's go ahead and Jupyter. Okay, so it took me all too long to read the manual, and as it usually does. And the proper command is this with a J. Essentially Jupyter Notebook, and we're trying to run this on 00000, and then allow root, and then I guess the directory for the notebooks. So we'll go ahead and run that, and then I will open this. Apparently over here. Link. Close that. Okay. So the first thing we'll take a peek at is this speech QA demo here, and let's fill our screen. Ish. Okay. So we got our licensing information here, and essentially all this is, and again, these kind of notebooks are just kind of here to show you some examples of what's possible. Contained within Jarvis is like everything you could need, and it's just kind of showing you some examples. So first off, with the Wikipedia question answering, I believe the model here is BERT. It's this BERT transformer model. Essentially, the thing here is you'll take all these Wikipedia articles, you'll pass them through, and then you could do question and answering from that. So let's we can check that out. So we will install Wikipedia as needed. Come down here, we import Wikipedia, gRPC for the kind of server stuff, and then from the Jarvis API, we're importing the Jarvis NLP and the server, I presume. So we'll go ahead and do that. Coming down here, this is just an example of an input query, and it's going to query Wikipedia. How many articles do we want to search for from Wikipedia? And then basically we're just building one gigantic summary from the content of those articles. So we'll go ahead and run that and wait for that to finish. Cool. So essentially all of that was kind of, just getting the context to now query the Jarvis server. So in this case, we are going to query localhost because we are actually engaging, this notebook is localhost. Later, if we wanted to, on my main computer, actually query Jarvis that is running on the DGX station, we would do that with, I suppose, DGX A100. Well, I don't know if you can see the name I gave to this machine, but it's essentially DGX A100 OMG. So yeah, we could do that or use the local IP. I presume. So let's go ahead and run it. We can already see the notebook came saved with the output. But can we just take a moment to appreciate the inference speed of this server? I mean, that's like nothing. Again, nothing was like, this part took a little bit because it's querying Wikipedia's API. But here, this is we just did an inference on some, probably a BERT model. That's really fast. Okay. So of course, I want to use a phrase that is not Wikipedia's Nvidia's choice of phrase or question. So the first thing we're going to ask is, who is Elon Musk? And I'm not even sure. I bet the question mark isn't actually required here. Let's see what happens. Views of Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Uh-oh. So, okay. So, yeah, I think I remember seeing this from before. Again, this is like a Wikipedia thing. So, my expert solution to this, I don't even know how to read this error. It just looks like some sort of thing. I'm not going to bother attempting to figure out how to read that error at this stage. Again, this is just like meant to be a demo. So I'm going to do a try, tab that over, and then we will accept, oh my gosh, exception as E, and then we'll just so we know it's happening, we'll print stringy, but I'm just not used to working in notebooks. I'm expecting it to, when I make parentheses, to move my cursor for me. Okay. Okay, so now it did the search, and then we'll do this. Who's not explicitly partisan? Gosh, that is really philosophical. I don't think. We'll come back up here. I think what I'd like to do, instead of max articles of 3, let's go with like 7. Let's do something substantial. Throw in a bunch of data. To see if we get a better answer. Okay, so in this case, we grabbed a bunch of things, come down here, query Jarvis server. Who is Elon Musk? Business magnate, industrial designer, and engineer. I mean, that's a highly accurate answer. So all we needed to do apparently was just add more articles. Let's ask, what is object-oriented programming? And then the next question I want to ask is, what is OOP? I'm just curious if that'll work. I'm expecting no, but that would be that would be so cool if it did. What is object-oriented programming? A programming paradigm based on the concept of objects. Wonder why it chopped off the closing. I can't think of the word. Quote. I'm getting kind of hungry. Okay, so yeah, like I want to say, what is OOP? I wonder if it could find out figure out what is an acronym. Alley-oop. This one is correct. I bet because of all these other ones. Let's see what it says. No way! Oh my god. I can't believe that worked. Based on what was passed. I mean, obviously this may be because it was hierarchically. I don't know. That's impressive. I'm impressed. I really thought we were going to fool it with that question. Okay. All right. You can tinker with that on your own if you want. Let's check out one of the other notebooks here. Man, I can't believe that worked. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, what is this? Python API examples, the basics. So again, this is just going to be some examples, just like this was, right? It's just like an example of using Jarvis. And in this case, this was just very specific question and answering. Over here, we've got just a bunch of examples. It looks like this is kind of just a demo video of using Jarvis. I'm not going to play that for fear of YouTube issues. So here they're just kind of introducing you to some of the things that it can do. And again, this really interests me because these are like, so question and answering this like once you have things in text, that's really cool. But if you want to build like a home assistant or a chatbot that you can actually, fluidly converse with, yes, this is nice. This is really cool. And I cannot stress enough how awesome that inference time is. even if, like, a lot of times you inference on a CPU, this is inferencing on the GPU, but even inferencing like a transformer model on the GPU, you're looking at 2 seconds or more. Like, you're looking at a considerable delay. Like, you couldn't carry on a fluid conversation, whereas this is at least this step is darn, like, that's so fast. But anyways, I digress. Besides this, if you really wanted to converse, you need to have speech to text, and then later text to speech, right? To make it fully, end to end. So here we can see they're kind of talking here about, I think ASR, that's automatic or automated speech recognition, essentially speech to text. There's other, it's not just speech to text, which is why I think they're using ASR here. There's a whole lot more going on there, and there's a live microphone demo that I'm going to try to do by the end of this video, and that'll probably be where I leave off, and then maybe in the next video start diving into more specifics here. Because again, my goal is to have essentially that Reddit chatbot, but then all of these things incorporated, so it's like a home assistant that is not boring. That's the dream. Okay, so we'll just run through some of these examples, but you can kind of run through them on your own. But we'll see if we hit any issues and stuff like that. Like here, for example, changing that to 7 was pretty substantial. And then the try and accept. So I don't know what that issue was with Wiki, but okay. I can't believe that answer. My gosh. I hope you guys are as impressed as I am on that one. Okay, so in this case, we can see here that, okay, they're doing some NLP here. This is probably just understanding of sentences generally with NLP. ASR, this is probably mostly speech to text, but we can kind of dig into it in a little bit. And then finally, obviously, text to speech. So we'll go ahead and do all those imports. And again, we have all of this because it's in a container. And again, what makes this actually kind of neat is to query and to like interact with this. Like, everything is running here on this machine, but you could query it from any machine, right? It's just you're just making a query here. So you could query from a Raspberry Pi, for example. You don't need a super high-end machine except to actually run the server, essentially. So let's go ahead, and I think we did our imports, so we'll go ahead and run this. And then here we've got an offline ASR example. They do have a live mic example. I think it's a separate file. I will run that. I think it's important to see because it's so cool. So in this case, it's as if you for whatever reason, you're bringing in the files. They're recorded as WAV files. So in this case, we'll do this. So if you stored them in like a database or something like that, you'd probably store it in some sort of format.
What is natural language processing?
So hopefully you could hear that, but it's just somebody's voice saying, what is natural language processing? So in this case, we haven't done anything Jarvis related. We just loaded a file. And then here, looks like we're building the Jarvis automatic speech recognition request, setting some of these values here. Looks like probably most of this you would probably just keep max alternatives 1. So it sounds like maybe if you had, I bet there's a confidence here. Yes, there is. So you could possibly check alternatives if you wanted. Also, my guess is maybe the more alternatives you suggest you would accept, maybe the longer it takes. So who knows? I'm just making guesses. Okay, so let's go ahead and just run it real quick. Well, although since these already came. So we see what is natural language processing. So no surprise, the WAV file in the Nvidia demo worked. So, I mean, that's very interesting. And basically, if you wanted to apply it to WAV files, this is one way that you could do so. But the live mic example, that's what I want to get to in a moment. But that's all that was required. And again, the thing that I really want to stress is, like, I wish they timed all of these in the notebook to really stress, like, this is definitely sub 1 second. I don't know what it is, but the response time here is insane. Again, to do this, it wouldn't be 2 seconds. I mean, I feel like if I did it, it'd probably be like 3 to 4 seconds. And I mean, like, and that's including on the GPU. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be 3 to 4. I'm pretty sure it would, though. That's so fast. It's so fast. And yes, well, two things. One, it is running on that DGX station, which is undoubtedly going to be, as we found out in previous video, like 2 to 3 times faster inference. But I have run this on the Titan RTXs that I have on this machine here, and it is still it's so fast. It's just incredible. I wish I could make models go this quick. Core NLP. Okay, so in this case, so this is your speech recognition, or basically speech to text. We've got NLP examples. So in this case, punctuation. Add punctuation to the sentence. Do you have any red Nvidia? Okay. So yeah, we run that. Wait, where did it go? Oh, here. Oh, this is actually interesting. I don't even think I noticed this my first time through this notebook. Add punctuation. Do you have any red? So this is actually very useful. Again, if you've ever done chatbots, generally the best thing you can do is I haven't removed punctuation from my chatbots, but you generally lowercase everything. For example, so that's pretty cool. So like in this case, it just knows, hey, I need one. Yeah, that's so cool. So now that I've seen this, although shouldn't Nvidia be all caps? Now that I've seen this, I kind of, it makes you, because basically you can have way less tokens. So if there's not like an uppercase version of something, or if you don't have to use punctuation, that's less tokens that you would need for your model. I'm not sure I'd want to get rid of punctuation. I think punctuation often helps the model learn, but in this case, there's probably all kinds of reasons why you'd want to add punctuation. But as far as capital letters are concerned, I really like that. I did not see that my first time through. And then coming down here, we can already see, I always want to run stuff just to make sure. Why do I keep getting stuck? That's so weird. I guess because it's highlighting the cell below and then I run it. Anyway, I want to run the cells just to make sure we don't actually hit errors. So in this case, named entity recognition is what I believe NER would stand for. And that's what it says right here. So, okay, so in this case, it's just going to take in some sentences. Rec.text append located. Okay, so in this case, it's just all it's doing is just recognizing, okay, Jensen's a person, Nvidia is a corporation, organization, and then Santa Clara and California are locations. Again, depending on what you're doing, like this is like an NLP task, so it's not like a question and answer, but a lot of times you're going to want to figure out like who are we talking about in certain scenarios, or where are we talking, all this kind of stuff. So like, if you're going to do, like a weather app or something like that, like they've got going on down here, figuring out how to pull that location can often help. So in this case, text class. So I guess you're just trying to classify, what some text is corresponding to. In this case, there are only 4 classes. So again, this might be very interesting if you have a real specific use case, and you would probably transfer learn based on your data set, unless you're doing weather stuff. So yeah, probably definitely the transfer learning toolkit. I'm curious to see how well that works. And then finally, text to speech. I don't know how well this will work, but is it recognized speech or rec a nice beach?
Is it recognized speech or rec a nice beach?
That sounds pretty good. I'm not sure if punctuation will matter in this case.
This is a lot of cool stuff.
Whoops. I got lost.
This is a lot of cool stuff.
No. I'm not sure if the punctuation was changing anything there. Wow, there are so many examples here. Analyze intent. So in this case, is it going to rain tomorrow? Again, so yeah, if you wanted to convert this to some sort of app, again, you spend so much time doing NLP trying to figure out what's a person actually want, right? So depending on your app, and how general or very specific it is, right? This is this is very interesting. What did I just paste in there? Oh, this some sort of score. Okay, I think I still kind of want to peek at these, but I think I want to show you. I think we'll end on the microphone one, because the microphone one is the coolest one. And again, like each of these things, first of all, I can say at least I could never have it be that quick. Even not on the Ampere cards, like I said, the Ampere cards will be fast, but even on like RTX cards, I couldn't get anywhere near. I couldn't get even like a tenth of this speed. And I've done it. I've done all these things. I have done text to speech. I've done speech to text, and I've done like things like question and answering models. So I might have to make the transition. I might have to. It depends. I'll have to see about also transfer learning to the BERT model, see what we can figure out. So the last thing I want to show is the microphone example, and I'm not positive how exactly I want to do that just yet. It depends on how this is all set up. So for the Jarvis API package, as well as that transcribe mic file, there's many ways you could do it. Probably one easy way would just be install the NGC CLI on your local machine and then grab the quick start on your local machine. Or you can copy the files over with either SCP or FileZilla. And the files that we need here in this case, so first of all, I am local, but I'll get into the DGX station here. And at least for me, I installed literally the quick start to the home directory. So we'll just cd into Jarvis quick start. And then inside of here is where you'll find the wheel file. So again, you just could copy that over local, and then you'd be all set. And then to install the wheel file, if you didn't know, you can just pip install, and in this case, Jarvis _API, and that would install the API for you. And then finally, the microphone file is in this examples directory, so you can change directory into examples, and there's some other stuff in here too that you might want to take a peek-see at, but for now we'll do transcribe mic. But there's other flat files in here that you, if you're interested in this stuff, I would strongly recommend you check some of these other ones out. So alongside the notebooks, there's also some cool stuff here. So anyway, what we're going to be looking at is this transcribe mic file for now. Okay, so basically all I did here was I just copied the transcribe mic file to be local rather than where it was. So in this case, the only other thing you would just need to do is install the Jarvis API. Anyway, so what we're going to do is talk briefly about this. So if you open up this program here, essentially you're using, at least to start, a lot of Pi audio. So it's just going to pull from your microphone. So in this case, the only thing that we really need to pay attention to is the server. So by default, it runs localhost. Well, we're going to need to change that because we're going to actually query the DGX station, because that's where Jarvis is hanging out. So now the other thing is the input device, and probably you have no idea which input device to use. And I'm actually not sure. We'll run it and just see if it figures out what input device, but my guess is we'll have to change that as well. So what I'm going to do is go Python 3, what was it, transcribe mic.py, and then server will be, what is that DGX? Where's the, there we go. Why'd you do that? Okay, let's fix this. Server will be DGX A100 OMG, and then what was the port? 551. Okay, so then, I think we'll see if that works. Let's just see what happens. Select. Oh, it fixed it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, if you don't get giddy about what you're seeing here, then something is wrong with you. So yeah, so that's like super cool, and that is nearly instantaneous. I don't know what to say other than that is just incredible. Let me pull this up so you can see it. Oh, I like moved the window and it got all freaked out. Anyway, I'm sure there's all kinds of fancy console stuff going on there to make it live to the screen. I cannot believe how good that is and how fast that is. That's the thing, is not only do these models actually work, I wonder why is it doing that? It's probably because I adjusted it. I honestly don't think... Let me just restart it real quick. I'm curious why it's like spamming that out. Anyway, okay, I think I'm going to end it here. So, yeah, I mean, obviously that was a whole lot of just stuff. But mostly it's just like just being aware that this stuff exists and it's out there for you for free. Yeah, I wonder why it spams that. I'm highly confident that is an issue with just kind of the display rather than the actual model like glitching out like that. So anyway, yeah, you could... This is so cool. So you can either do the stream method or like with the wave file. Essentially, they're breaking that wave file down and then doing a prediction on the entire thing. So either you can kind of begin to predict live, like what is going on right here, or you could predict... What's just going red here? Interesting. So obviously, it makes some mistakes for sure. And I would like to compare like the streaming to, something that does this and then just calculates at the end what it thinks you said. But also the other interesting thing is as I talk, you can see that a lot of times it goes back and like adjusts, what was said. That is driving me bonkers. And I hadn't seen that before. Why are you doing that? I wish it wouldn't do that. Anyway, okay, that's all for now. I hope you guys are thoroughly impressed because this is all so cool, except for the spam. But but I'm confident that's some sort of console issue rather than the model. So yeah, man, that is so cool. There's so much here. Like now, I just need a working chatbot, you know. And then Home Assistant is done. And I know a lot of people that watch also want to do Home Assistant. So definitely take a peek-see into the old Jarvis. So anyway, that's all for now. I think you'll be seeing some Jarvis into the future from me because this is really cool. And hopefully you guys don't mind this kind of format where I'm just like running through stuff just because I think... like I spent so much time just like checking things out and then sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. So... yeah, it happens. Yeah, I wish Nvidia fix the spam. Honestly, the last time I saw this, I don't recall that ever happening. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's because I zoom. Like, what is causing that? Because I zoom. Like, what? Man, it fixes itself so well. Anyway, okay, that's all for now. Questions, comments, concerns, whatever. You know the deal. Feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another video.